welcome to the Nocturnal Space Workshop. I'm Trezh and this is my chilled out vlog, sort of weekly when I show what I do in my days off. So far I've made these models. I'm really happy with how they've turned out. This is my Chaos Space Marine warband, the Ironbone Lords, and the theme of the army is that every single mini is a conversion that starts off as a metal model. So far I've made this squad of Legionnaires, and I just want to change the aspiring champion's face before I move on to painting them. So that's what I'm going to do now. It's absolutely freezing in the workshop at the moment, which is why I've got the hood up. It's not because I'm a Jedi. Or am I? I was in two minds of what to do with his face. Part of me wanted to do like a big grin with lots of teeth, like if you're familiar with the comic book of Judge Death. And part of me also wanted to do it like, not grinning like the Joker, but the Joker in, if you're familiar with the comic book, in the series when he actually had his face, the flesh from his face removed and then sort of stapled back on. And the other part of the theme with the army is that they collect skulls. So every single one of the miniatures has skull trophies. Some of them have more than others. So I was thinking of giving him some kind of skull mask, but just for the top part of his face, so you can still see the teeth, that grill kind of teeth look for the bottom half of his mouth. I don't like that bottom lip though, it's a bit dopey. Yeah, so I'm going to try and give some kind of like, I think I'm going to use green stuff to try and like build up like a smiley face for the bottom part, and then I'm going to use a skull for the top part. I really like this one. So I think I'm going to use this skull for the mask, but with those horns there. So because he has this thing here on the side of his shoulder, I think that might interfere with the horn on that side. So I'll do a dry fit, see how it works out, but I think I might have to cut off the horn on that side. See how it goes. Okay, so it turns out the horns on the skull were just too large. Not only does it hit the thing on his shoulder, but it kind of hits the trophy rack on his back too. It's just impractical. I do kind of like this one though, some kind of alien with no eyes, and if he's wearing it as a mask, then it kind of implies that he's got no eyes too, which is just kind of creepy and cool. I find if you're ever unsure about an idea, you're hesitant, you don't think it's going to work, just go ahead and disfigure the miniature, and then you're going to be forced to fix it. So I'm just trimming down the back of the skull, using very small, very precise, very gentle cuts. I'm hardly applying any pressure at all because the last thing I want to do is lose control and cut my fingers. Okay, so I'm much happier with the face now. It's not exactly what I planned, but it very rarely is what I plan. I always go into a project just with a rough idea, but then I kind of work out as I go along. I wasn't expecting it to turn out like that though, but I'm happy. Apart from the face, I also want to just add a little bit of detail to the vent. I was looking at the vent with the skull, and I know it just looked a little bit bare with having the ridges on the rest of the vent there, so I just add a little ridge, spiky bit onto the skull as well. Okay, right, okay, I'm just going to prime it now, and then I'm going to leave it overnight to dry, so then tomorrow I can start painting properly. Okay, the intention wasn't actually to paint them purple. It just turned out I didn't actually have any black spray paint, which is what I wanted to use to undercoat them. So I just used purple because that's the darkest one that I've got. Now that I see them in purple though, I do kind of dig it. I think that's because of my old Space Marines though. Let me show you my old Space Marines. So this is one of my old Space Marines from my old Loyalist chapter, who's called the Draconite Lords, and as you can see, purple. So they were purple, black pauldrons, silver trim. Here's one I painted most recently. Oh, cobweb, cool. That's because it's just been sat on the shelf. Yeah, so here's one I painted recently, my speed paint video. That speed paint video wasn't really a serious video, but if you want to go back and have a look at it though, I do give a lot more of the information, the lore on the Draconite Lords. In the backstory, they did spend a bit of time in like an Eye of Terror kind of warp infested space, so it does sort of stand to reason that some of them might have actually been corrupted by Chaos. Problem is, Loyalist Space Marines, they're kind of cool if you do them purple. Chaos Space Marines, if you do them purple, everybody just thinks you're doing Emperor's Children. So I want my guys to have their own colour scheme, and as they're the Ironbone Lords, I want them to be metallic with white pauldrons, so metallic for the iron and then white pauldrons for the bone. So I think I'm just going to give them a quick wash with like watered down black, and then I can crack on with actually painting them. Yes, I really want to paint them kind of metallic colour, but now the black wash has dried, I actually really like this dark purple colour, and I really don't know what to do now for the colour scheme.
If you like the purple colour, I think you should keep the purple colour. It looks really good.
Yeah. She's a very clever woman, is Amelia. I think she's right. I should keep the purple because it looks awesome. These are going to be purple with white pauldrons, and then they're going to be like really weathered, and anywhere there's trim, that's going to be sort of silver or silver metallic instead of gold metallic, and then that way still got the iron bone with the silver trim and then the white pauldrons, but I'm going to have purple as the base colour, just like really dark. Well, I say really dark, I don't know, I think I'm going to go around and actually brighten it up in some places, and then I'm going to weather the shit out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponge on some lighter tones of pink and purples, possibly even going up to fluorescent colour. I'm not quite decided yet. Got a little bit of water, makeup sponge, and then brick. Handy to have a brick for whenever you're doing like dry brushing or sponging. Call it sponging, it's just stippling, you know, like you used to do in nursery. Mohawk guy looks awesome in purple. So painting them purple like my old Loyalist Space Marines, I always had in my mind that they had like a lost company that, you know, got trapped in the warp and they may or may not have become traitorous renegade Marines or something like that. I suppose this kind of makes it official, which I like. I like it when you have sort of a bit of lore behind your army. You know, I like that my old Space Marine chapter hasn't just ended. The miniature I showed you earlier, I painted that probably 15-20 years ago. Jump forward a decade or two. And now the story's continuing with the missing company. Fell to chaos and took the Ironbone Covenant, where they would offer up the bones of their victims, the bones of their enemies, offer them up to the dark gods in return for powerful boons. I like it. The main colour of the pauldrons is going to be white. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stipple up with this, which is a burnt sienna, kind of a light brown, then to this, which is just an off-white, bone white kind of a colour. Stippling still, then with some pure white stippling over the top of that. And with the metallic, I've not found a very good range of decent metallics that are, you know, low price. As you can see, I normally use cheap paints. I found this one that's kind of good, but it's just the one shade of metal. I want to have a couple of different shades, so I'm going to go with a Citadel paints. These are some old ones, I don't even know if these are still in stock actually. We've got a Bolt Gunmetal, which is the darkest one, and then we've got Chainmail, which is a mid one. It looks a bit discoloured, that's just the tub. And then we've got Mithril, which is really shiny. Those are the three main shades of metals I'm going to be using, and then obviously different colours. Hello. Be using different colours for the other little details. Like this dude who's got like a a loincloth thing going on. I'll have to pick that out a different colour. But the main thing is going to be building up the whites and the metallics. So I'm just getting the base down with the sienna brown first of all. Now the important thing with the base one is really just to get to the edges. I'm not really that interested in getting full coverage. As I say, I'm going to be stippling the lighter shades over the top of it anyway. I think I'm going to do the spiky bits a different colour. Yeah. Remember, it's only paint. If you make a mistake, you can just paint over it. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and paint the skulls with the brown too, including every single skull. There we are, so he's got one on his forehead, he's got one on his chest. So I'm showing you this one because, it's got lots of skulls, including the ones on his belt there. I think going forward, I'm going to have to paint them in smaller batches because this has taken most of the night to go around them all. Little details, if you're just doing painting 1 or 2 minis, it doesn't really take that long. But when you're doing a squad of 10, all those little details, fiddly little details, they, they can take quite a bit of time to actually do them all. I mean, I did sort of build them in batches of 5, so I think what I should do is actually paint them in batches of 5 as well, because it's getting kind of late now, and I can start doing the stippling on the next layer of the white, I think, but I don't know how long that's going to take me, and I don't know if it's too late for me to start it, because I don't know if it's too late for me to finish it now, if you get what I mean. On his shoulder he has got some fabric hanging there, and a couple of the others have got like loincloths hanging as well. I'm going to be doing those all different colours. I don't want them all to have the same colour. I don't like it when everything's completely, uniform across the army. I do like my guys to be individuals. That's why they're all conversions, because I like them all to be individuals. So all the little details are going to be different colours as well. I'm just blocking out all the parts that are going to be the same colour, like the shoulder pauldrons and the bones, that kind of thing. So that's what I'll carry on with tomorrow. And then I can pick out the individual details, like the mohawk guy's mohawk, and the loincloths and any other little bits of jewellery and whatnot that might be on there. But I think that's me done for tonight. So this is night 2 of 4. So I've just got 2 more nights, and I want to get them done by the 4th night. Hey Iris, what have you been up to today? You just been sat there all day? What can you see? Anything? Oh, you're having a stretch. Hello. Do you want to go for a walk then? Yay! I've decided before I go any further, I want to just add an extra layer of highlight. I don't know, chaos should be loud and obnoxious in the colour scheme for me, even though I am going to weather it up later. So I'm just going to add a little bit of fluorescent magenta. Then some of the models I'm going to make really, really dirty and grimy. Those are obviously the Nurgle guys. Others I'm going to leave bright. They're going to be the Slaneshi ones. Okay, I've got to be honest, I was a little bit worried I was about to make a terrible mistake, but now that I've done it, that looks awesome. Okay, I'm not sure at this point how well the camera's picking it up, but the contrast between the darker purple and then this fluorescent magenta as a highlight really makes the colour pop and really stand out. Okay, this is fantastic. I'm really confident I can carry on with this process, and then I can just go back around, pick out any details I've just covered up, and then go on to the metallics. Now that I've gone over the skulls and the other areas that are going to be bone white, I'm going to be using well, a bone white paint, which I'm going to be stippling using a brush, just going dab 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 dab, stippling on. This is a technique that I actually first saw with the feral painter on YouTube. What you do is you stipple on the increasing highlights from the bone white up to a pure white, but you leave it a little bit messy. You leave the preceding layer of paint showing through it, and then when you go over it with a dirty wash at the end, it all gets blended together. That's the theory. I'm going to play around with that, see how it works out for me. I've just finished going around them all with the off-white, so that's the bone white, which is this brand here, Crafter's Acrylic from Deco Art, the antique white. It's a good paint, I like it. As you can see, I've gone around all the bones, all the skulls. So that guy's got a lot of skulls, you can see. So I've gone around all of them with the off-white, and it's taken absolutely ages. Yeah, I've definitely got to find another way of doing it. Gonna have to do smaller batches, doing 10 at a time, with all the little details that each of them have. Picking out all the white around the good old chaos stars and whatnot. Yeah, it's a lot of time, it's very time consuming. I'm going to crack on now with the pure white. This is just going to be picking out little dots on top, and then I can go around with the metal. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. I'm not going to moan. I mean, I don't mind it. I actually enjoy it. This is, this is the hobby that I enjoy doing, and once they're done, it's all going to be great. It's just, I've only got these 4 days off when I have the chance to actually do my hobby time. And I can't hobby time. I sound like a child. This is the only time I get to spend doing my hobby, and so tomorrow is my last night. So I've got tonight and tomorrow to finish off, and then that's it. Whatever I get done, that's going to be the video for this week, and then I'll have to wait till next week before I can continue. So I just want to get as much done as I can, and because it's so time consuming, I'm just not getting as much done as I would like. But I'm not out of time just yet, so I'm going to stop moaning and talking about it and just crack on painting. Now I know that a lot of people really like the non-metallic metallic style, and it does look great on photographs on Instagram, that kind of thing. But in real life, when you're on the gaming table and you pick up a model and it's got actual metallics, it moves around on the table and it reflects the light. Painting for the tabletop is different than painting for Instagram, basically. And I mean, look at that, I was catching the different colour light there to then the different colour light up there. So that's why I always like to paint it with actual metallics. It's now the end of night 4. I'm not as far along as I was hoping to be. I think before I release this video, I'm going to spend a little bit longer on them. Basically, all I've done on night 4 is all the metal trim. This is the last one I'm finishing up now. Okay, so I've actually only got one night at work this week because we're going on holiday. We're going away. So I've actually got a couple of nights before we go away. So I've got one night working, then I've got a couple of nights off, and then we go away. I wasn't originally planning on doing anything for these models in those couple of nights off before we go away, because I need to get ready to go away. But I need to finish these. I need to get them to a point where I'm happy leaving them until next time, and I'm just not quite there yet. So yeah, I'm going to allow myself just one more night maybe working on these, and then that's going to be the video. So you're watching this now sort of towards the end of the video. Originally this would have been the end, but I just need to do that little bit more. I mean, this guy in particular just has so much metal, so many metal bits. Chaos icon on the back. They've all got these tiny little pieces, these tiny little metal bits, so many of them. Now I've got to do these 5 billion little studs on his chest plate as well. It's all good, just took longer than I thought. I was getting myself worked up that I wasn't going to get finished on time, that there's a lot to do, a lot to paint, and I was never going to get done before I go away on this holiday that I've got coming up. And then I realised I don't actually have a deadline. Just because at some point I decided I want to get this done and then I can release this video before I go away on this holiday, doesn't mean I actually have to get this done and release a video before I go away on holiday. It was just something that I decided would be good. It'd be a good idea if I did that. I don't actually have to do that, you know? So I'm not going to do that. I don't know, I was getting myself all worked up and I was rushing and I was stressing and I was risking doing a really bad paint job because I was rushing and stressing. But these videos are meant to be part of the hobby, they're meant to be fun for me too, so yeah, I'm going to chill out, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to finish these models. Hopefully I will actually get them done before I go away on this holiday, but if I don't, hey, that's okay. I'll just get them finished when I come back and I'll release a video once they're done. For the fleshy parts I'm just going to use my own mixture of Yorkshire flesh, which is actually just a brown that I just used a bit of white to lighten once, and I thought that looks a bit like flesh, that looks a bit like my flesh, and as I'm from Yorkshire I called it Yorkshire flesh. Going very thinly over the top of the purple base coat, it's made kind of a cool effect. It's almost like an undead effect, which is awesome. That's exactly what I wanted, but it's turned out really well. It was just a random choice to go for that purple spray can in the first place, but I'm really happy that I did, because otherwise I would have had perfectly normal Caucasian flesh on this guy and they'd all be wearing silver armour. This looks way better. Okay, so for the Khorne Berserker guy, he has an arm exposed too. For this guy, I'm going to do him with darker skin, so I'm just going to do the exact same thing, but with a bit of a darker brown mixed in, and then they're all going to get a wash anyway over the top of them. I can pick out some highlights afterwards. There's a small video clip missing here. I painted the ribbons of the purity seals with the Yorkshire flesh to make them look like they're made out of strips of flesh. In my mind, rather than being purity seals, these are just sort of the pacts to the chaos gods or something like that. I did think about giving them an emblem on their shoulder pauldrons, you know, just like a chapter symbol, that kind of thing, but instead I decided to do like a writing effect, as if they've got their Ironbone Covenant written up on the shoulder pauldrons. That way each of the Ironbone Lords has got their own version of the Ironbone Covenant written on their shoulder pauldrons, like their own promise to the Dark Gods. That's me out of time though, as our trip starts tomorrow and we are going away for about a week. I'm just going to give them a quick wash now. This is just black and brown paint mixed together with some water. So I'm just giving them a quick wash now. By the time we get back they should be dried, and then next week, roughly next week when I get back from my trip, I can start basing them. And eyes. I need to do their eyes as well. I'll be doing that afterwards. Once the wash has finished drying, I'll then go back, I'll do like, you know, white and then some kind of fluorescent colour. I'm thinking green at the moment, but yeah, I'm going to do the eyes afterwards as well. So bases and eyes, that'll be the next video. You know the drill. Click like and subscribe. And I'm not on any social media, so I love to chat and hear from you in the comments section. And do something creative just for the fun of it, even if it goes wrong. Especially when it goes wrong, because that's how you learn. You can only do the best that you can do, and that's good enough. Remember, you're perfect just as you are and people love you. Look after each other, and look after your pets, because they love you too.